So I had like 4 or 5 months CRD, and I remember I was driving. I got out October, and it was Christmas. I was driving to my daughter, my youngest daughter. She was born while I was in prison that time. I got out, and it was Christmas. I was going over there, and I got pulled over on the way home. I had no license. I'm on CRD, so I violated, back to jail, back to prison. They gave me a CRD violation, 24 months.
So you went back to prison for 24 months just for driving without a license?
Habitual driving, habitual. They gave me 24 months. Violated my CRD. I went back to prison.
Man, that must have sucked, huh? How long were you out of that time?
2.5 months.
Bro.
Yeah, you ready? It gets worse. It gets worse. So I went to a sweet camp that time because it was driving. It wasn't like a violent or crime or nothing. So I went to Gainesville work camp. They had dogs on the compound, they had a dog program, and it was like, man, it was sweet as far as a camp. The doors were open all day. There was a little rec yard, but it was so sweet. And for someone like me, a loose cannon, a wild card, it was too sweet. I'm getting busy, I'm bringing in Xanax, I'm bringing in loud, I'm smoking, I'm taking Xanax, I'm wilding out. So I crashed, went to the box. They didn't have no box there. You had to go to Lancaster. They made an adult camp. It used to be a JIT camp. I went to the box there and got out there. It was wild too at that camp. And I remember I get out that bid in 24 months. No CRD because I maxed my time out. I had like 9 days game time. I get out. I'm out of prison a month, 5 weeks. I'm at the bar in my local hometown. I'm with this girl, this little Spanish girl, you know, we're just hanging out, not my girlfriend, nothing, just a girl. We're at the bar. I'm taking Xanax, I'm drinking. I had pretty much a bad drinking problem most of my life. I'm at the bar and we're sitting there and this guy, and this is like a local bar that I grew up in this town. It was called Legends. Everyone knows me, I know everyone, you know, this bar. So we're walking and this dude comes in and you could just see it. He's just got pressure off and he's coming, he's starting shit with everyone, right? Walking around. So he's mingling around and I'm looking, I don't care. I'm out of prison 5 weeks, no parole. I'm happy I'm with this beautiful girl. So he comes around and this girl I'm with, she's like, yo, you're a freaking loser. Like, why don't you go home? Nobody wants you here. And I'm like looking at her like, what? So now this time I'm swole. This time I'm working out in prison. I come out and I'm healthy, you know? So he's like, bruh, he's like, get your bitch on a leash, bruh, bruh, bruh. And I'm not mad. A, it's not my girl, but B, you know, I'm like, all right, man. I'm like, go home, man. And I'm dressed like you know, I always dressed kind of preppy-ish, you know? So he's like, man, get your bitch on a leash. And I'm like, bro, just go home. Like, don't be a statistic, you know? He's like, statistic, pretty boy, what you gonna do? And I'm like, bro, just go home. So this dude swings on me, right? And it was like, I swear, like Matrix, slowed down, right? So he swings and I'm just like duck it and Hayukin, right? Mind you, I'm on Xanax and drinking Jaeger bombs before I get to the bar. So I had dealt with some anger issues in my life too, right? So I black out. Well, apparently I'm just hitting him. He's on the ground, I knocked him out and I'm hitting him and his head's hitting the ground, knocking out, waking back up on the concrete bar floor. Needless to say, you know, I leave out the back, cops come, the dude goes to the hospital, they come, they arrest me. I'm like, damn, I got 6 witnesses, the bartenders, all these people that know me. They're like, this dude's the antagonizer, he started it, blah, blah, blah. So I bond out. They give me with battery and great bodily injury. He got fractured his cheekbone, got rods in his face and stuff, right? So I got all these witnesses showing up saying this dude was the aggressor, he swung on me, he was antagonizing everyone. The state attorney was like, well, your background, you got past violent charges, you know, this and that, and you took it above and beyond self-defense by permanently disfiguring them. So they offered me 48 months.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? And I'm thinking like, I don't even need a lawyer. You know, I got a PD, so I got this lawyer, I got it down to 30 months. And mind you, I'm out 5 weeks again, and I'm like back to 30 months. And I mean, you know, you've done time. Anything 3 and under is a sweet mid. It's crazy if someone's never been to prison, but 3 years is like nothing, you know? So back to prison I go again. Went to Franklin, another one way up in the Panhandle. It was just since my second time going, I was just back to back to back.
And this is your 3rd bid right here?
That was my 3rd bid, yeah.
That was your 3rd bid?
No, I might have been my 4th bid.
Yeah.
Went the first time, went back for driving. No, went back for this, yeah. D letter, yeah.
So this is your third time right here that you were saying that the story you just mentioned?
Third or fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go into prison any more after this?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So at this prison bid, when you go to the prison for the 30 months for the bar fight, what prison did you go to? And just briefly explain that bid, any memories you got from that prison bid.
I remember I went to Franklin, and it was in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the smallest town, and their police department used to be a phone booth or something. This is like in the Guinness Book of World Records, Franklin, CI. Way up in the Panhandle. I got introduced to sand gnats and all that there on the rec yard, getting bit up. And it was, at this time, I was just accustomed to it, you know. I'm just looking for my groove, and I ended up going to a work camp. I could never go outside the gates. I'd never been outside the gate in my life, violent crimes and stuff. I think I had domestic batteries from my first girlfriend or something, and that hindered me from going out the gate. But I remember I went to a work camp, and I had a girl on my team riding, and so people were going out, so I was getting cartons of cigarettes dropped off to them, the crew. A carton of 305s was $13 that she was paying for it. She dropped 4 or 5 cartons off. I don't want to expose the game. I know it's going to be on the podcast, you know, but so she dropped the cartons off. Now, she put them in diapers and trash cans, whatever, the packs of cigarettes. So the guys on the crew, they go out and get them, and they get them, and they got to bundle them up, put them in the rubber bands and the duct tape, and put them in an old suitcase, you know, and they bring them in. So every carton, they get 3 packs for bringing them in. I get the other 7. And I was selling them on the wire. I was selling a cigarette. A Cadillac goes for $20. What's
a Cadillac for the viewers who don't know?
A Cadillac.
And a wire, so just be clear.
Yeah. Okay, so on the wire, it was, at that time, there wasn't no Cash App, I don't think. So it was like Western Union, PayPal or something like that, Green Dot card. And that means that you're on the phone. Now, all the phone calls are monitored, so there really wasn't too many jacks back then in the chain game. It was like it was beginning to be a thing. A jack is a phone, a cell phone that someone smuggles in. But so you're on the phone with your people and trying to talk in cryptic, about sending some money, and then you got to get confirmation. People telling you they sent it, and your girl saying she ain't get it, and they want their stuff. Man, I ain't got it. I'm not giving it to you. A carton of cigarettes was 305s. They were the brown cigar ones. $13 on the street. A carton was technically 7 packs. Like if you were to send $100 on the wire. So $100 Western Union would get you a carton of cigarettes. I think a pack was like 25 maybe on the wire. But a Cadillac is one whole cigarette, $20. And then they sell plugs. They break a cigarette down into 5 pieces. 5 little pieces like that, and they sell them for $2.50. You could probably get one for your chicken on chicken day on Tuesday night. You bring back a bird, the barnyard pimp, you can get you a plug. Cigarettes was real currency in there, real baller type stuff. But yeah, so I did that for a while, and then this one guy they had Tunchi. I got introduced to the Tunchi, which is spice, which is K2, which is synthetic weed. And back then, before it was the twack out stuff, this was like, you got like a weed high. And I met this dude from Tampa. He knew a gas station to get it from, some Scooby snacks or something. So I'm bringing that in. He's giving it to my girl, bringing that in. And I had a good little run before the GDs kind of ran down on me. Like, look, you getting a lot of money doing this. You ain't affiliated. You got to break us off, And so I'm like, damn. And it wasn't like an extortion thing, but it wasn't too far off, like you're gonna break us off, you want to keep this gravy train running. Yeah, so it was just like this. So I get some cartons and I break them off, and then I kind of the head of the Bloods was in my dorm too, and he was a cool dude, but I break him off, you know what I'm saying? So it was like just kind of, it never got to where I got ran down on. Now I've been at camps at Mayo when I was there. You got people in the gang, on the weekend, they got visitations, right? You go to visitation. Every gang got a lookout man. Well, he ain't going to chow at all that day. He's sitting on the bunk all day clocking who went to Vizzo and who's coming back. And as soon as you come back, they watch that bathroom. You go to the bathroom, they're seeing and they're running down with swords, people on the toilet, that are shitting out the bomb that they done packed. Give it up or we gonna go in there and get it, So it was like, it never got to that for me. I greased the right fingers and kind of did the politics, you know, and I was at camps where it was ratchet. I don't know, I was kind of stand-up dude, and it just, everything kind of worked out for me, you know? But also I get, they do random searches in the middle of the night, and I got stuff everywhere. I done took hits for cartons and bombs and get arrested. I thought I didn't have bombs. I got a little cloth sack that full of like weed, full of K2. I get caught with. I'm like, damn, go to the box again, go to the box.
So you get out, and then that's all the memories you got for that prison bid?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So you get out, and then what happens whenever you get out?
I mean, every time I got out, you know, it was like, so I think my second bid in prison, I literally remember walking around the track yard, and I'm thinking like, man, I get caught for everything on the streets and in prison. I get caught for everything. I keep getting in trouble my whole life. And I sold drugs my whole life, right? And I know a lot of people sold drugs, and people be dope sick, and they ain't fronting them nothing. They rather see you die, ain't nothing fronting. They're just like real scumbags, right? And they never get caught. And I'm old friendly drug dealer, you know, fronting, and I'm gonna get caught for everything. So I remember I was real mad with God, right? Like, I always believed in God, but I didn't have no relationship with God. And I remember my second or third bid, I'm like walking around the track, literally middle fingers to the sky, like, F you, God. I'm like, what's up? Like, why are you forsaking me, you know? And I kind of realized later on that I wasn't forsaken. Like, he was like saving me from myself, you know? Every time I went to prison, it was a 2-3 year bid. And it reset, like, I got a bigger plan for you, you know? And I get out and I have all the tools to get right. And I would just right back into the same, you know, I didn't talk to my family for 18, 20 years, nobody. So I get out, most people get out, they stay at their mom's or their aunt's house on the couch so they get on their feet. I didn't have that. So I get out, hit the ground running, go see my old plug, get a QP, get a pound, get on my feet, you know? So it was really just a vicious cycle I was trapped in the same cycle. Get out, start selling drugs, man, do good, have a good run. You know, I had cars, jewelry, money, and then back to prison. Get out, healthy, everyone back home. You know, first it was celebrations. Then you third or fourth bid, ain't no more celebrations. They're like, damn, you know, it's not cool no more, you know. But yeah, it was pretty much a vicious cycle. I was trapped in the same thing.
So when did things begin to change? And you were talking about your last prison bid as well.
Yeah, my last prison bid, I was at Liberty. And now,
first of all, what'd you go to prison for? How long?
The last prison bid, I was selling dope in Pasco at a hotel. A friend of mine, and some dude, he's like, yo, you got some loud, you got some coke? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, good news and bad news. I'm from Spring Hill, I'm in Newport Richey. I was like, I got it, I got that gas, but I'm in Newport Richey. It's like 1 in the morning. He's like, I'm coming. So they come to the hotel, and I'm breaking out lines for him. I'm letting him hit my bottle and shit, you know. And so then the dude they try to rob me. So I'm not having it. So I'm hitting them. I'm fighting the one dude. The other dude's trying to get out the room. I'm choking him out, right? He's trying to leave. I'm like, nah, you ain't leaving now. So I end up getting my stuff running out there to pop. The cops pulled me over like 6 deep. They caught me with loud, with coke, a couple bags of coke. Loud had blunts rolled, ounce here. I got grinders, I got weed everywhere. And then they take me to the precinct, and they're like, they come with the mask on, the jump out boys. They're like, we're not here to talk to you about the narcotics and drug charges. The narcotics detective is going to talk to you about that. We're here to talk to you about the aggravated assault and kidnapping charges. And I'm like, what? Kidnapping charges? Like, what? And so I started losing it, and they're like, we ain't going to talk to you. So I'm in the holding cell. I'm like, you gonna drop that bomb? Me ain't gonna talk to me. Now, mind you, I'm on powder, I'm on Xanax, a bottle of vodka. So I start kicking the window. Bam, bam. The third kick, the whole plexiglass thing pops out. And I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, do I reach it, try to get it back in and maybe get an escape charge? So I just sit down, and they come in there, they beat the shit out of me. And you know, I got a few licks in on them. So they charged me with aggravated assault, and the kidnapping was when I choked the dude out when he was trying to leave. They said that's false imprisonment kidnapping. He was trying to leave. So I go to jail. You know, one of the dudes was like my friend, so he's like, bro, I'm not gonna show up, bro. You were tripping. I'm like, I'm tripping. You know, like, you, what the hell? So then COVID happened. So when I was in county jail, COVID, everything shut down. Misdemeanor people were getting released. I mean, it was crazy. You hear about the COVID, no court dates, no PD visits, everything's on the screen. I'm sitting in there like, man, the guards are coming in. They used to come in, line up for trays, pass the trays out. Now they're coming in, hazmat suits and the masks, just pushing the tray cart in and getting out the door. I'm like, we gonna die. Like, it was nuts. We didn't know what was going on. You can't watch the news in jail. They don't play the news in my county jail because I guess someone, a chomo or a child molester, done raped some kid. So they came in and they saw on the news and they killed the dude. So you can't watch the news. So we don't know what's going on. We just in there, you know. But because of COVID, and it was, you know, they said they were in the hotel buying drugs. They admitted to it. It was a drug deal gone bad. It was a trap hotel. So they were offering me 60 months. I scored out to 60 months on the low end. Prison Reoffender Act, which is if you catch a felony within 3 years of your release from prison, you get the Prison Reoffender Act, which is like an enhancement, 10 or 15 years enhancement. Career criminal because it was a career violent criminal. They tried to do all this stuff. But because it was, you know, a drug deal gone bad, they were, whatever, it's COVID, they're like, look, we give you 24 months, you know? And I like broke my wrist signing.
Bro, you got spared, bro.
Yeah, I was in the county, but you know, it was crazy. And I know these dudes weren't showing, they knew. It was like, come on, man. COVID really spared me though. They was just cutting deals. So I was in the county 16 months or something, you know, and I went to Liberty CI, and man, that was, at that time with COVID, man, you went to rec maybe once a week. You go to canteen maybe once a week. All day they were serving chow all day because they had the social distancing. So it was 2 to a table. And by this time in my career trajectory, when I first went to prison, I remember my first meal. I do remember at Orlando.
Didn't know I am a rapper. My artist name is EI the King. Check out my music on all streaming platforms. Go to my other YouTube channel, EI the King. Check out my music videos. And I'm also releasing a documentary all year. It's really a docu-series. And every Wednesday, I drop a new video. As we've been documenting my transition home from prison and society, from the day of my release, we had a film crew at the gate just documenting my transition home from prison, now in society. Check it out on one of these links above.